Do you know these 6 uncommon facts about the Spyro Reignited trilogy?
Let's find out.
Hey, why do my guests always interrupt? What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and back with a good friend of mine to join me in this lovely video, RaPWNzel!
Hey everybody, RaPWNzel here, coming at you live from the tower.
But this is a pre-recorded video.
Shh, they don't know that.
With the Reignited trilogy coming out, there are facts and features coming out from right, left, and center. It can be hard to track what's been said.
So we're here to tell you 6 facts you may not have known about the Reignited trilogy.
Let's get right into it.
Number 6. Classic camera controls.
Do you really hate yourself? Do you like to wallow in self-loathing? Do you like trying to get platinum on Stormy Ascent like our dear friend Mechanizer?
Well then, the Reignited trilogy has just the feature for you. As most of us already know, the Reignited trilogy is boasting new camera controls. The camera can now be rotated with the right analog stick. That's great, but it's not what we remember. Classic Spyro fans know that the camera was originally rotated with the L2 and R2 buttons. Well, camera purists can rejoice because in an interview at E3, hosted by Rooster Teeth, Peter Kavik, who's a senior producer on the Reignited trilogy, said you can, quote, be torturous to yourself and use the L2 and R2 triggers if you want to. I don't think that's an option I'll be using very often, but much like my car's airbags and that emergency money I've socked away that I'm totally, really, definitely, maybe not blowing on Spyro merch, it's comforting to know it's there.
Number 5. Fast travel.
Are you a speedrunner and just hate walking? Ever want to just zip to a certain level that you've already played, but it's in a different world and you have to run all the way there? Want to just do it faster?
Well, now you can! In an interview with Paul Yan and Maxi Geek, Paul Yan went on to say that they have decided to add a fast travel option in the game. It is assumed that once you completed a level, you can fast travel to it in an option in the menu. I expect that the speedrunning community is going to be in love with this option, and those who just want 100% the game, but missed the pesky gem in Treetops.
What level?
Treetops! You know, the level...
I told you. We never speak of that level.
Sorry? Personally, for me, however, I think I'm gonna run through the homeworlds and do it the old-fashioned way. I love the look of the homeworld so far. Plus, it gives me an excuse to keep playing the game late into the night, because as we all know, sleep is for the weak.
Number 4. No Switch version. A Switch version of the Reignited trilogy has not been announced.
Hold on, Nintendo fans, before you break out the tissue boxes, let her finish.
As I was saying, it seems like bad news, especially since Twilight Harbor now looks like it's something straight out of Splatoon, but it doesn't mean that it will never happen, it just means we aren't getting it on launch, and that could end up being a good thing. This information was confirmed by Jordan Fringe when he personally spoke with representatives from Toys for Bob and Activision at E3. The video where he addresses this is in the description below. He explains they want to make sure the core game is as perfect as they can get it before starting the process of porting it. That's actually really good news for us. It further shows that Toys for Bob and Activision have the right sentiment for making this game. They care about the product and respect the fans enough to give us their best. I certainly don't agree with every creative decision they've made, but I do applaud their mindset when it comes to this.
Nitpicker, yeah. Number 3. Started from scratch. When Vicarious Visions walked up to Naughty Dog to ask if they had the original Crash Bandicoot assets for the Insane trilogy, Naughty Dog simply smiled and handed them the coding for all 3 games. However, when Toys for Bob went to Insomniac asking for Spyro's codes, all they literally got was a shrug. They apparently lost all of their data in a move. I don't know how you could lose the data of all 3 games of a signature PlayStation mascot.
Perhaps some corporate espionage by a certain Italian plumber?
I'm not quite sure about that, but Toys for Bob knew that they had a massive job on their hands. One of their engineers created a program called Spyroscope, which is short form for Spyro Under a Microscope, where the program actually broke the levels down to its original geodes and exported it to the artist so that it could paint over top the geometry of the original levels. They also got the placements of the items, like gems, and the hitboxes of the enemies. However, this took so much extra time because they had to rebuild the game from scratch, but according to one of the spokesmen of Toys for Bob, the original game is pretty much running under thousands of layers.
Like ogres?
Ogres have layers. Onions have layers. You get it. We both have layers.
Number 2. Possible lady dragons. Now, I'm sure many of you out there in the vast cosmos keep late night hours pondering the many mysteries of the universe. Seeing as you're here, you're probably a Spyro fan, so one of those mysteries is no doubt, where the heck are the female dragons in the Spyro universe?
Yeah, and where did those eggs come from?
Maybe you should talk to your wife about that. But fear not, my troubled Spyro scholars. You may be able to take that mystery off of your ponder plate soon. In that same Rooster Teeth interview I mentioned earlier, Peter Kavik was questioned about the possibility of female dragons appearing in the games. He very quickly and mysteriously responded, "I want to leave some surprises." He was also asked if there might be any new cutscenes or challenges, to which he again replied, "There are some surprises we want to keep, and there are some things we can and can't talk about."
So, is that a yes?
This could mean that some of the dragons we free may get a gender swap, or perhaps it means we'll get some new or altered cutscenes with female dragons included, or maybe they're adding entirely new dragons for us to free. Personally, I'd prefer new dragons and or cutscenes. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure any and all of the dragons would look great in lipstick and a matching handbag, but I don't really want them to change what's already been established.
I wonder what they would look like. Gorgeous. Number 1. The roll in all games. Were you one of the few people who love the roll?
No.
Oh. Well, it would seem, however, that Spyro is going to be getting this move back for all 3 games. According to an interview with, once again, Maxi Geek with Paul Yan, Toys for Bob wanted to keep the 3 games as cohesive as possible. So they decided to add the roll back in for Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, or, Gateway to Glimmer for those over the pond, and Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon. This is going to be interesting as now new strategies could be used for bosses or certain annoying creatures to try to avoid them. Perhaps Spike won't be such a pain?
Of course he will. Get your head out of the clouds, man.
The roll could easily help with other areas that were a smidge difficult to deal with. Thank you so much, RaPWNzel, for joining me in this video.
My pleasure, thank you for having me.
And don't forget to check out RaPWNzel's channel. She covers not only Spyro, but also pretty much everything gaming, from games to collectibles and even live streams. Her channel is in the description below, so why don't you go and subscribe? Thanks so much for watching. Cue the extra.